Hello everybody, I'm KLINER, CEO and co-founder of Airobotics, and today we're going to talk about smart solutions and everything that has to do with public safety and emergency response in the urban environment. We will see how a network of drones can be used in first responders and emergency units to bring better solutions and faster solutions. When we talk about public safety, as we all know today, we're talking about police forces, enforcement forces, firefighters, medics or first responders, search and rescue, environmental issues, and border patrol. And as in our day-to-day lives, when something happens, if it's an accident or any other emergency that we need to respond to, so usually this comes into a central unit. This could be firefighters or police or cameras in the urban environment. The solutions that we all know today in our regular lives, like police car or ambulance or fire truck comes to give a first response. Sometimes there's a helicopter in the air. I say sometimes because some countries, some cities don't have a budget for a helicopter to help the units on the ground. Again, I'm talking about the urban environment specifically. Now imagine a situation where there is a fleet of drones networked throughout the city, fully autonomous, without people in the loop. And one of the main issues, as we said before, is the need to fly things. So no, this doesn't need to be flown. A network, untouched, without pilots, all autonomous, and the next video will demonstrate this. This thing that you just saw can happen only with full autonomy. We in Airobotics believe that the way to full autonomy is if you can always replace batteries with a robotic arm, and you can switch sensors, and each sensor gives different kinds of data. And with this data, we of course bring the various applications for the clients or the security units, and I will show several examples. It's important that the system will be able to fly in an urban environment in all weather. Of course, when we talk about emergency response, there's a great need and importance to fly in wind and rain and answer 24/7, and to be the eye in the sky for 24/7 with several kinds of sensors. And the more we cover a larger area with one system, we will be able to broaden the coverage in the urban area and give a overall answer. To understand the uses, I will show you several types of data that can be collected and what can be done with this. What is most obvious, I think, is video. It's obvious what can be done with video, how it helps the units and search and rescue. As I said before, some of the cities don't have a budget for a helicopter. Here, a drone can be a completion of other abilities. That is, of course, much cheaper, cleaner as far as environmental issues, and sometimes even more efficient. And this shows the advantage. When we talk about video, and the video that is received from several angles or sensors, we can have various kinds of analytics with such a video. And these analytics can support what the authorities need. When I talk about analytics, I mean identifying vehicles or license plates, identifying changes. We could take a video from last week and compare it to today and see what changed in the urban setting, and object recognition that have been predefined. This is a fleet that covers the urban environment and assists units on the ground. For you, it may sound like a futuristic vision. There's something that will take time, even though I'm sure there are people that know a lot about this and know what's happening in the world. And I'm happy to show you a video from a recent activity that we have been doing in another country that's fully operational and is fully integrated to the other units on the ground and broadens their capabilities that can give a better answer to public safety in the public environment.
The use of advanced unmanned drones to help in their operations. The trial during the COVID-19 circuit breaker period is also timely when manpower resources are stretched. Video checks out how they're being used.
These industrial plants are temporarily shut because of circuit breaker measures. Most of the workers here have also gone home, so these premises could become tempting targets for would-be criminals. Rather than leaving fewer eyes on the ground or the lookout for thieves, there's definitely one in the sky.
So during this COVID-19 operation, police has also been offering our support to other agencies during this difficult period for Singaporeans. Actually, we organize our resources itself. That's where UASs are able to actually help us complement areas like, for example, the industrial estates. They might be lower footfall during this period, but also we still want to enhance our presence in the
People in the back, please move forward.
Very clear situational awareness on the ground. So in terms of the payload or the camera on the drone itself, we must be able to zoom in or to fulfill our requirements to see very clearly what is happening on the ground. There are some details that we are interested to see.
The police have used drones before, but this time it doesn't require an on-site officer to operate this drone. It's all done from a back-end command and control center. And as technology improves, the drones can even be flown without visual contact. This further reduces the manpower crunch, and flying the drones becomes easier as it requires
would be criminal.
Conventional drone, when you use pilot on site to insert the battery pack the aircraft from the very beginning until the end. With the drone box, with the drone and drone box concept, all these preparatory activities are actually automated away by the automation system inside the drone box. So the operator, the officer can focus on what's truly important, and that is to complete the mission, the surveillance.
Currently, this drone is being tried in this industrial area in the western part of Singapore, as it's an urban environment that's suitable for the purposes of the trial. But the police forces is exploring the deployment of this technology in other industrial areas in Singapore.
We spoke about video, and I want to take you now to a different kind of data or information that drones can collect autonomously and can support this array of response in the city. We all know what happens if there's an accident, God forbid, and there's a big traffic jam and we have to wait for a police officer to come. A drone, when it networks or covers the site, it can create a 3D model with stills, high resolution, or a laser sensor, and in a second send the imagery to the police officer or the inspector and release the traffic jam, save time, make it more efficient, make it more cost efficient. All this with this network of drones in the urban environment. Until now, we spoke about everything that's to do with emergency response, but there's another dimension that talks about preventive measures also in the urban setting. The ability to take several various sensors and create levels of models that are very precise, and using these models do preventive measures to prevent the next emergency before it becomes an emergency response. As you can see here, you can take stills or LiDAR, laser imagery, and fuse them for a digital picture, 3D, and do analytics on this image and predict future events. Here you can look and see cracks in the road, various hazards that are about to happen. Each such point that is analyzed, and since we have a fleet of drones, we can fix it or anchor it geographically, and we can carry out the analytics and know how it's important it is, how critical it is, and when and what we should do preventive measures. Combining various sensors, even if it's video or any other sensor, gives us an array of abilities or applications that can be done. In this example, public transportation, a train, for instance, or railroad tracks if there's a problem there, and we can create preventive measures and prevent the next accident. Strategic infrastructure, if it's city or state or in neighborhood, this can be analyzed. We can inspect it and prevent the next event or incident that may lead to accidents or high costs, all with the combination of these sensors. When we have a full coverage and fusion of autonomous sensors that can take all of these sensors together, we can build or construct an important combined picture that has to do with public safety. Here, in this example, in such a precise model, we can predict future events if we have a model. And we see on the news that next week there's going to be a lot of rain. We will be able to plant the specific amount of predicted rain in the model and see where the water is going to accumulate and prevent the next flooding, and we know that this thing happens in cities. So this can help and assist us to make our work more efficient and more cheaper and faster. Besides this, everything that's to do with the city that has any importance, if it's inspecting or protecting, even if it's pinpoint things, as soon as it's defined, it all happens autonomously without wasting human resources. All this to make it more efficient in the urban environment, and anyway, our resources are thinly stretched. Another issue that can be done with this fleet of urban drones is delivery. Now I want to talk about delivery that is not sushi and pizza like we hear in the news, but delivery of emergency response. I'm talking about blood samples, medication, and even defibrillators. For instance, an example from one of our clients, they wanted that if someone has a heart attack, a cardiac arrest, someone will be able to press a button in an application, will go immediately to the automatic system, a drone will go out, fly directly 50 kilometers an hour, and bring with a 20-meter winch a defibrillator that will save their life. Another area of usages may be environmental issues, air pollution, the ability to take endless number of sensors, also futuristic sensors that will be planted in the system. We can have a full model of monitoring and prevent future problems or hazards in the urban space. If I sum up until this point, these are things that are happening. It's not a vision, it's active projects. And as we move forward, we see these projects penetrating the urban environment more and more into public safety and emergency response. The more we have sensors, the more we can have applications and usages in inspection and mapping, in inspecting environmental issues, and air pollution and delivery of emergency response. If I sum up, we're talking about the fact that the vision is here. It's not something futuristic or imaginary. Networking the city with autonomous drones that give us the eye in the sky 24/7 and enables us to respond swiftly and reduce the response time. We're talking about endless applications and usages and bringing endless sensors. Thank you very much.